Meantime, jobs and workers took centre stage during the Committee of Supply debate in Parliament today. At the crux of the speeches was the notion of fairness.
New policies were announced, including one on tighter criteria for foreign professionals so that Singaporeans can compete on what's described as a level playing field. And to better support Singaporean workers, especially older ones, the government is urging employers to help them be ready to tap the opportunities.
And one of the ways to level the so-called playing field is to tighten the salary requirements for foreign workers. That means foreigners will have to earn more to qualify for an employment pass, or EP.
And in the same vein, measures on fair hiring will be stepped up to prevent discrimination against local workers. Sherilyn reports.
From May this year, foreign professionals will have to earn at least $3,900 a month to qualify for an employment pass, up from the current $3,600. The minimum was last raised in 2017. This latest change comes in line with improving wages of fresh graduates from local universities. The wage criteria for older and more experienced EP candidates will also be raised in tandem.
These criteria take reference from salaries of locals with similar experience and seniority to ensure that the S-Pass and EP holders are of good caliber and do not undercut the wages of our local PMETs. This is why older and more experienced candidates need to command higher salaries in order to qualify for an S-Pass or an EP. It keeps the competition fair.
For EP renewals, the rules will only apply in May next year. Mrs. Teo says this staggered approach will moderate the impact on businesses. It also assures Singaporeans that they're competing on an even playing field.
Fair-minded Singaporeans do not expect to be given a free pass, but they do expect fair competition, and rightly so.
The ministry will also raise the local qualifying salary, which is the minimum a local must earn, to count towards a firm's quota for hiring foreigners on work permits and S-passes. From July, it will be raised from $1,300 to $1,400 to keep pace with rising local wages at the lower end. Mrs. Teo said most employers won't be affected because they don't have workers earning below that amount. But for those who do, the extension of the wage credit scheme should help. On fair hiring, she said measures will be stepped up to avoid discrimination against locals.
Under the Fair Consideration Framework, or FCF, we require employers to advertise on mycareersfuture.sg before submitting employment pass applications. Mr. Murali pointed out that job positions with salary of $15,000 and above are currently exempted from the FCF job advertising requirement. From 1st May 2020, MOM will expand the advertising requirement to include positions paying up to $20,000.
Mrs. Teo said about 1,000 firms have been placed on a watch list after being suspected of discriminatory hiring practices. 23 employers have also been taken to task under a new penalty framework that was revised at the start of this year.